What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming to I hope you enjoyed the little tunes. I hope you enjoyed the tunes. There we go. Yeah, that Judy workout was fire. It was. Um, Today we talking sports. We are talking sports, but not your normal sports conversation. We're gonna talk about some things that's gonna make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, make some people feel uncomfortable. So we're gonna tackle it today. So don't go nowhere. The topic: what are we doing? We'll be right back. Welcome back to the See Through It podcast. I am your host, Brian Sales. How you guys doing tonight? How are you guys doing tonight? It is Thursday. It's usually do these sports talk on a Friday, but we have a special day tomorrow, doing my anniversary, 2 years. That's um, an amazing accomplishment. So, no show Friday. So my anniversary, 2 years. So we're gonna do it today. We're gonna do it tonight. I was supposed to have a guest for tomorrow, but I don't want to. It didn't slip my mind, but there was so much going on in a couple of weeks. So much going on, so I had to figure out what I need to do, and I just made it today. So here we are. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. The topic: what are we doing? I know you're probably like, what does that have to do with sports? Like, how's that even tie in? I don't even see it. Well, we had a lot of people talking. We had a lot of people talking. We had a lot of people doing things. We had a lot of organizations, saying the right stuff, doing a little bit of, band aid here, band aid there, making it seem like they really care. So first, we're gonna jump off. We're gonna jump into Drew Brees and this flag protest. The anthem, kneeling during the national anthem. And I sent out a multitude of messages to different people that I know that were active or veterans, and they all came back with, most of them didn't really care. Some felt like um, that the anthem and the flag represented something they really didn't really tie or connect to their service, because the flag, when the national anthem was put together in 1812, the Battle of 1812, there were still slaves. So the Constitution and all that didn't really reflect all this truth. You still had slaves and people fighting for their rights. So that's one side of it. So, but majority of the veterans and the active duty people that I've talked to, all of them said no flag, no anthem should be worth more than, a person's life or whatever. And then they went on to say that it's their right, it's their freedom. If they choose to protest during the game, or, during the ceremony, that is their given right. That is why we put the uniform. We put the uniform on to give them that right to be able to protest. Whether you like it or not, that is their right. And I know a lot of people, and like I said, it was going back and forth. But for the most, like when we got into the conversation, most of them was like, that was their right. We are American, and you should be allowed to protest as long as you're not killing someone else while you're protesting something. You know, it was a quiet protest. He wasn't jumping on the flag. My opinion on it, I don't really. It didn't really bother me. He stayed on the sideline. He did it. He was quiet about it. He wasn't saying, "Hey, cameras, look at me. I'm on my knee. You know, he wasn't doing none of that. So I'm fine with him protesting, and what he was protesting was a problem. You know, it was a serious problem that wasn't being talked about. So it happened. We moved on. And then here comes Drew Brees. I find nothing wrong with what Drew Brees said. One, freedom of speech. Freedom to choose, freedom to, you know, open his mouth and say whatever he feels. As long as he's not, you know, defaming someone, running their name in the dirt. He wasn't doing any of that. All he was speaking on how he felt about the flag and how he felt about the national anthem. There was no reason for people to go at him for what he believed. The same energy that I feel about Drew Brees, I feel for Colin. There's no reason for people to be going at Colin. Again, I put that uniform on. You know, I put it on for that freedom to remain, freedom to do whatever they want to do, as long they are killing, as long they're not killing, not killing or hurting anyone. The only thing that was hurt was people's feelings. Absolutely. Texts come in. We have to come together. Difficult conversations must happen. You're absolutely right. We cannot put so much value and so much basic, I'm not going to say people are praising the flag or, you know, acting it like it's some type of god or anything like that, but we can't put so much value into a flag, into a song, that we forget or don't even pay attention to why he's doing it. Wake up, folks. Wake up. And again, if you don't like that he's protesting, you know, he's kneeling, doing it, that's fine. Again, that's your choice. That's your freedom to feel that way. You have the freedom to feel that way. But do not project hatred because he's doing that. Now, I have a lot of viewers that, you know, they're super old school and they feel a certain way to the flag and to the anthem. I understand that. I remember when I was in boot camp, you know, in the Navy, and they played that song, and I was standing there, and I felt it. Like, you know how we say, "Oh, I felt that." You know, I felt that. I felt the song. It went through my veins, through my body, and I felt like I was supercharged. I was ready to take on a country by myself. I felt that. And when I got out of boot camp, it was still the same thing. Like, that's national anthem, the song playing, it means a lot to me. The flag, you know, seeing the flag, I don't want to see people stepping on it and, you know, burning it, especially if you live in this country. There's no reason for that. There is no reason for that. But if you want to be that, you know, I would have to say that's disrespect. If you want to burn the flag in the country that you live in, it doesn't make any sense to me. But so be it. But don't burn it in front of me. I might have a problem. But I have no issues. Absolutely, I understand that. And a lot of, like I said, I asked about 20 to, I think, 25 people, and I think 5 of them came back that the flag and the anthem and everything, that it just doesn't sit with them as how it sit with other people that I asked. And, you know, like I said, back then, black folks were not free. They were still slaves. The Constitution, I learned this in, you know, American government. The Constitution wasn't written for them. The Constitution, the people that were writing the Constitution had a chance to abolish slavery right there, but they didn't want to. I don't know why. All this could have ended a long time ago. Could it all been fixed a long time ago? But they chose not to. I don't know why. And so that stings a lot of people. And I understand that. And I don't fault them or look at them different. Again, they put on the same uniform. Again, We are all different. We think differently. We operate. We see things differently. But we should never infringe on other people's freedom to, speak freely, as long as they're not hurting or doing anything crazy. Aloha, Mallory. Yeah, absolutely right, Sally. Absolutely right. It's these topics, they need to be had, but we need to have them with open minds, open ears, open eyes. You know, uh, Coming to the table willing and wanting to understand, willing and wanting to listen to the other person. Drew Brees, I hate that he flip flopped on what he wanted, what he stood for. That's what he stood for. And everyone made him change his decision. I'm not going to say Drew Brees is a racist because he felt like people were disrespecting the flag or the anthem. That's nonsense. The man plays in New Orleans. If he didn't want to be there, that is a heavy black city. The players, that whole team. I'm not going to say he's a racist. I haven't seen any reports. I haven't heard any tapings. I'm not going to say he's a racist. We got to stop forcing people to flip-flop or change their views. If he had this conversation, it would have been fine if he had this conversation behind, closed doors with his players, and we don't know if they had this conversation before because he still came out and said what he said. But after everyone piled on him, he maybe felt obligated to change his stance. Now, that's what I cannot get with because I don't know if that's real or was he doing that to appease everyone else. I don't know if you're fake now. I don't know. I can deal with someone who's standing on what they're standing on, whether it's right or wrong. I can deal with that, but I can't deal with the flip-flopping. That's ridiculous. Again, I have no problem with what Drew Brees said. The flag and the anthem rubs people a different way. Me, if you want to protest and you want to do it peacefully and quiet, while the flag is, when the song is going and the flag is waving, that is on you. I put that uniform on so you can keep enjoying your civil liberties and all of that. You can do that. I have no problem with that. Everyone was upset with Drew Brees. Everyone was upset with Drew Brees. Well, let's go back into the timeline. 2019, October, LeBron James commented and ridiculed the owners, I think it's Daryl Morey of the Houston Rockets, right? Daryl Morey was standing up for the people in China because they were being oppressed by their own government, and he was standing up for them. LeBron said that he shouldn't have opened his mouth. He shouldn't have said anything. It was an uneducated, misinformed statement by the owner. Now, mind you, again, this owner is standing up for the people that are being oppressed by a communist Chinese government. And that was his comments. And me, as a black man, as a man, and I deal with oppression. We've seen it. It blew me away when I saw his comments about the Chinese people. That they should just follow what the government is requiring of them. If you don't find an issue with that, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. That's fake. Equality for all. It shouldn't matter if it's going to hurt your pay, your pay book. your checkbook, shall I say. But he was worried about his, that money, that deal that China and the NBA have. That's what he was worried about. He didn't care about the oppressed people in China. He didn't care at all. Absolutely. And now, with the current events going on, LeBron's chiming in and speaking and speaking. It comes off to me as fake. You're only speaking because you like to run your mouth, in my opinion. Now, I might be wrong. But looking at that time in October when all that stuff was going on in China, people were protesting for months. And he told them they should just continue to follow what the government is wanting them. And then went on to disrespect the owner of the Rockets, saying he was misinformed and miseducated and he shouldn't be speaking about what other people are going on. That doesn't make any sense to me. There's no outrage, though. There's no outrage for that. Do we not want equality for all? Do we not want equality for all? I don't know. I say I have no problems or issue with what Drew Brees said. It's his freedom, his right, his choice to feel that way about the flag, to feel that way about the anthem. And it's Colin's right and his choice and his freedom to be able to protest quietly. And even if, I don't know, I might feel a certain way if he was like running around during the anthem because, we stand at attention and we make sure we're focused on what's, it's a different feel. So I don't know if I could deal with him running around, cameraman, look at me. But with him kneeling quietly, protesting, and then answering questions about why, people, let it go. Let it go. Now, does he belong in the NFL? I don't know. Was he good? The season after that, or that season, he was horrible. So, I'm pretty sure he can probably be a third string or second string, but does the NFL owe him an apology? Absolutely. Let's talk about the NFL. Since everyone's so patriotic and love the military, let me tell you guys about what the great NFL has done. Did you know? ESPN did a reporting on the NFL charges the DOD millions of dollars to show up in uniform, fly their planes, helicopters, all that during their games. But the NFL is so patriotic. Why are they charging the DOD to show up? It's quiet. But we so patriotic. Come on now. I've heard so many stories about veterans who were fighting to get their benefits from the time that they spent in Vietnam. Some died, never seen a penny. But we so patriotic. The NFL is charging the DOD money, contracts to show up to games, hold the flag, fly over the stadium. But we so patriotic. That seems backward to me. It seems back. Like I said, I have so many stories of people that I know that are fighting to get the VA to set up an appointment to be seen. The NFL is a joke. I'm trying to keep my emotions in check because it makes me mad that we are so blinded by one individual's actions and ignore what he was talking about, but allow the NFL to get away with robbery. The owners, they getting all this money. They don't put it in the communities. But they so patriotic. The NFL is so patriotic. It's so great. The Shield is amazing. It's disgusting. It makes me so mad. I heard one story where the guy had, I forgot what it was called, but I think it was the orange agent. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. But he was going to the VA for a full year trying to get them to, diagnose him and all that. They didn't diagnose him till after he was dead. But this country is so patriotic. Wake up, people. Wake up. There's bigger issues. There's bigger things going on. I'm going to get off that. The NFL is a joke. People who say that they are patriotic and not paying attention to what's going on, or they're not voting to get the right people in office to make sure that our veterans are taken care of, that's a joke. We have veterans that are homeless, veterans that are messed up in the head, veterans who can't even get a job or get an interview. But this country is so patriotic. It's a tough subject. I see you guys coming. I'm trying to, bring myself back in. I'm trying to reel it back in. Talking about my time in the service and talking about other veterans, and I've talked to so many veterans from the Vietnam era, and it's so sad. And to know that the NFL, the same NFL that, I don't want to say they blackball Colin, but what they did to him was wrong. And we still watch those games. We still, patronize in everything that they're doing. Meanwhile, his own fellow teammates didn't take a stand either. Fake. The same ones that were, in Twitter crying about what was going on and wanted the owners to do better and all that. I don't recall any of them sitting their butts down. Because if they wanted real change, they all would have sat down. Fake. Stop getting caught up in these emotions. These players don't care. Because if it was a big deal and it really mattered to them, they would have stood right beside Colin. They all would have been on knees. If they wanted real change, they would have all sat down. But no, they too busy at the clubs. They need that money. They too busy putting on these big chains, driving these cars, getting in trouble. I don't trust these NFL players. They're fake. I don't trust any of these athletes. The professional ones. The college ones haven't been tainted yet. And we fall right into that emotional trap. Wake up. Wake up. Let me see what the comments is going on. Let me see. I'm calming down. Let me see what's going on. Yes, absolutely fake. uh, People do not care. It is a crazy world out here in this sports. These people are about their money. They don't care what about the little people's problem. You know, Colin was trying to do something and we hung him for it. You know, all because of a flag, no nothing should mean more than a person's life. There was an issue that was going on, and it should have been talked about. It should have been, put on the table so everyone can talk about it, address it, and all that. But we didn't. We didn't get to that. I felt like all the players should have sat down. That would have made the owners come to the table. Let's figure out what's going on. You know what? Let's get some black coaches. Let's get some more black coaches. Let's get some more diversity. Black, brown, whatever. Let's get some more diversity. Let's make this league more diversity. How can we help? Maybe get some brown, black, more diverse owners. A portion of an owner or whatever. That wasn't the case. Meanwhile, the NFL is charging the DOD money to show up to their games. Fake. I digress. We move on. DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, absolutely right, Mallory. Mallory says, the country is so divided, it's hard to know what's okay anymore. We're infringing on people's rights to believe and do what they want. And I understand, if you have racism or whatever, confront it, But it's a fine line, and you just got to figure out what needs to be chopped and what should be left alone. That's how I see it. You just got to figure out, because it's a fine line. You got to figure out what needs to be chopped and what needs to be left alone. All the other stuff, let it be. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Celebrus. Absolutely. DeAndre Hopkins. We're moving on, folks. I got to get off that NFL thing because it was making me mad. I don't even like the NFL because it's so fake and the players are fake. They flip flop. The analysts are fake. The whole league screams fake to me. So, DeAndre Hopkins came out and said he doesn't mention Clemson because they have a racist name on a building. I guess he was a slave owner or whatever. Now, if that's the case, here's another fake story to me. If that is the case, why go to the school? Why go to the school? I mean, as soon as you saw that building and you felt some way about it, transfer. Don't play. But you went out there every Saturday, put the helmet on, gloves, uniform, pads, pants, shoes, knee pad, all that. Played a game where you could have been paralyzed. Severe head injury. You played that game knowing there's a racist building or a racist name on a building. But you were still out there. That doesn't make no sense to me. I would love for someone in the comments, please explain that. Because I can't wrap my mind around it. Because if I know that there's a racist restaurant, but they serve something I love, but that restaurant is racist, there is no way I'm going into that restaurant. Well, some of you might say, well, that's not the same thing. Well, let's change it. A hospital has a racist name on it, and it's well known that this is a racist hospital, or the name is racist, I'm gonna be questioning that, and I'm gonna go somewhere else. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna work there. I'm I'm not gonna affiliate myself with something like that. It makes no sense to me. So now everyone is getting caught up in the emotions with everything that's happening. I won't mention Clemson's name because that building, but I'll risk my life, severe injuries, and play this game at this school. I would love to know how the equation works. I would love to know how that equation works. All fake. It's ridiculous. Let's let's leave Clemson. Let's jump to Iowa. Because lately we've been having a lot of people getting fired for things that they've said. And, we one person get fired, but the rest of the staff is still there. That's fake to me. First and foremost, Iowa had a coach that was accused of, using the N word or whatever during practice or whatever. It's 2020. That happened 3 years ago. One person was fired. Why is this news now? Why wasn't it news then? Why is the whole staff still there? And if that's the case, my black players, why were you still playing? Apparently, it didn't offend you that much. That's another problem I have. People are not standing up for nothing. They're not standing on nothing. They're letting emotions control them. If the wind blow this way, they're going that way. The wind blows this way, they're going that way. The ground shakes, they're shaking. What are you standing on? 3 years ago, we're hearing about it now. And one guy gets fired. The whole staff should have been gone. No one should have played football. Sally West, you say we allow it. I want to know what you mean by that. Why do we allow it? Because I'm telling you right now, if I'm at work and someone uses that word, there's no way that I'm going to be like, you know what? It's all right. I'm going to continue to work. No, I got to leave. I got to leave because that means there's going to be more disrespect down the line. There's no amount of money that will be okay to be disrespected. Doesn't make any sense to me. Integrity, honor, courage, and commitment. Core values. Core values. That's the Navy's core values. The Navy's core values. We have no more values. Now again, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if it's true. People can say whatever out of emotions. But if this is true, and they still played the football games, they were still acting like everything's okay, why are we talking about it now? Why is the guy out of a job? It didn't hurt their feelings then. Why are we dealing with it now? It doesn't sit right with me. Absolutely. There we go, Sally. Okay, I was making sure. Absolutely. And we got you got to take a stand on something. You can't be flip flopping because now I question everything that you do. There's no courage. You have no honor. My Warriors brand is built off honor, courage, and commitment, consistency, integrity. I get in front of this mic when I do my show. Those things always go through my mind. Make sure I'm consistent in what I'm saying. Whatever I'm telling you guys that I've already done, I'm standing on what I believe. There's so many times where my mind be like, you know what? My numbers ain't where I wanted to be. I see this guy over here doing what he doing. Maybe I should add a little bit, you know? Maybe not gonna appeal to a different audience, bring in more, be more crazy and be out of character. I can't do that. My values, my beliefs won't let me do that. I feel like these people have no values, no beliefs, nothing. Too emotional, too emotional. DeAndre Hopkins. If that was the case, sir, you should have went to another school. If you wanted to stay in, Carolina, you could have went to South Carolina. You could have went to Charleston. Excuse me. You could have went anywhere. But apparently that issue wasn't that big enough at that point to make you change your decision. But because what's happening now it's a big deal. You should have kept your mouth closed, sir. To me, I see a clown. That's what I see. So, people, stand on something. Stand for what's right. Don't let it be 20 years or 5 years and you want to speak up on. No. Have some honor. Don't tell me 20 or 5 years later from now that you knew this racist person and they was blah, blah, blah. Hold them accountable right then and there. That moment, you could have saved them. You could have changed. No, you let them fester in that. And it got worse. Or whatever. You could have said something. But you decided not to. We move on. National team sports. Well, I guess I could have tied that into the Drew Brees NFL topic and all that versus pro sports. My stance on, I've read a report where the national soccer team. Hold on, let me pause that. Sally comes in and says, I think some are afraid to speak at the college level. I can see that. Okay, I can see that. Well, here's my response to that. Young men, you're now becoming men. Be men. If someone has wronged you, speak up. Don't allow them to continue to wrong you. Because if they feel like they can continue to wrong you, then they will continue to do so. And then after you're gone, they're going to do it to someone else. Hold them accountable. You're not a little boy no more. You're not a little boy no more. You are now a grown man. The law says that you are grown. They're going to treat you as such. The NCAA is going to treat you as such. So don't worry about, being scared or speak up. Because if you don't, that bad behavior pattern that they're already showing you is going to continue. It's going to go on to the next generation or the next player, the incoming players. They're going to see it and they're going to have the experience. Be the one that stands up and say, enough is enough. Everyone, look over here. You're not a child no more. You are a man. Yes, the analysts use kids, but the law sees you as a grown man. There's no timeouts. You're not going. If you get in trouble, there's no timeouts. The college football, NCAA, they're not going to give you a timeout. They're going to penalize you. So it's time to wake up. Walk in that. You are a grown man. Handle business as a grown man. So we move on to the national sports. U.S. national soccer, the men's, I believe, are planning to all take a knee. Now, this is the national team, right? And this is how I feel. This is the national team. You're representing America. I understand we have issues. All countries have their issues. But understand that you're in a country where you are free. And yes, we're not totally free. Absolutely. I understand that. But in the sense, we are free. There's other countries that are not allowed to speak against their government. There's other countries where their law enforcement, they can judge, jury you right there in the streets. They can hold you in jail forever without you even seeing a lawyer. We're kind of free. So understand that when you are a part of the national team, be happy about that. And again, I understand we still have our issues. You can bring it up in a press conference, you can talk about the issues, but when the national anthem plays and our flag is waving, you are still an American. And if you don't want to honor that in front of other countries, and those same other countries have their own issues and their own, liberties and things that don't even exist, know that. And stand there and, appreciate that moment. You don't have to accept the invite to be on the national team. Decline it. Pro sports. We here in America, the anthem's playing, you want to take a knee? If you want to sit in the locker room, you want to sit in the chair, not stand for it, I'm cool with that. That's fine and fantastic. Do it. But when you're on the national team in front of other countries, and they don't even have the liberties that we have, to me that speaks. That seems very, childish. When I was in the military, I didn't go to other countries and be like, man, F America. I don't even like, man, I didn't do that. I was proud to be American because I seen how they was living. We got to debrief on different laws and different restrictions that their own people weren't allowed to do. So they made sure we didn't break any of those because we would be left there. Come on, folks. And for the U.S. men's soccer team to be speaking about anything is beyond me. First and foremost, they're in a battle with the women's team they're way better than them. None of them are speaking up for their counterparts. Fake. I don't want to hear it. Stand your butt up or just cancel the men's soccer team. They're garbage anyway. The women's team has been fighting for equal pay and better travel arrangements, all that. None of the men are speaking up for them. But now everyone's emotional. We, we, we want to take part in something. We want to voice our opinion. We want to show solidarity. Shut up. Your counterparts are struggling in a court battle, and you're saying nothing. Fake. Look at the whole picture, people. Don't let them fool you. I was about to. There's a saying, I can't even remember it. If I remember it, I'll tweet it out. Something about bamboozled, been hoodwinked. Oh, I wish my memory just failed me. I can't remember it. If you know it, please type it up in the text in the chat room because I can't remember. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled. That's all I can't remember. What else? Can't. But people, come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing? The NFL does not care. They want your dollars. You know, if there's real issues, let's handle the issue as soon as it happened. Don't tell me 5 years from now. I don't even care. I really, honestly, I don't even care because there's nothing I can do now. I mean, they only gonna fire one person when the head coach should have been fired. the director, the sports director should have been fired. Everyone should have been fired. There shouldn't even been no football. But no, one guy takes the fall even though everyone knew about it. Come on now. Fake. Let's get it together. Stop letting little things divide us. Of course, again, like I said yesterday, racism is embedded in this country. But if we hold people accountable and we do it in love, we can conquer that. But we can't do it in hate. And we can't do it from 6 years past. You know, let's hear about these stories as soon as they happen. Young players. I don't know if I have any young players listening, but if I have any young players listening, if you are being wronged, speak up. Because as soon as you do something wrong, please believe and know this. They're not going to hesitate to smash you. They're not going to hesitate. Speak up. Let it be known that you are playing for a racist coach. Let it be known. I'm not going to that school because there's a racist name on a building. I'm not going there. Speak up. Have some honor, some courage to do the right thing. Spike Lee, do the right thing. Absolutely. Oh, man. So that is the show, my people. That is the show. We got to continue to get better. You know, don't put all your faith and all this weight on these players because they don't care about you. They care about their money. If they really cared about the issues that was going on, y'all remember Muhammad Ali. He went to jail, lost his championship. We ain't got no more of those. A lot of the people that's in these leagues have no honor, no courage, no commitment to nothing but that dollar. Remember that. All they care about is their brand and that money. Muhammad Ali went to jail, lost his belt in his prime. Oh, thank you, Mallory. Remember that, people. If these players wanted change, the NFL is what, 75% black? Something like that? I don't know. They can all sit down. You tell me right now the owners won't come to the table. All they players sitting down? What owner's not coming to the table? They money being hurt. These players are worried about themselves. Don't let them players fool you and get you all emotional and hyped to go out in your city and destroy something. Because they not bailing you out. I mean, we seen what they saying. Let's post bail. Are they bailing? I don't know. But still, don't put yourself in that situation for NBA, NFL, any player when they not doing the same thing that they telling you to do. Don't let your emotions control you. Be the captain of that ship. Be the captain of that ship, people. So let's go ahead and run through. Let me check these comments. I want to keep engaging you guys. I love when you guys comment. Absolutely, Sally. They have more power than they realize, but they don't want to use it because them pockets are gonna get light. Them pockets, they can't pop bottles. The pockets gonna get light. Let me see. What else? Make sure I say hi to everyone. Mr. Duke, Mr. Kelly Jo Ray, Mallory, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Let's go ahead and run through our contacts. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up. Let's get this video in the algorithm so other people can, hopefully start seeing through all the nonsense. If you'd like to donate to the show, paypal.me/SeeThroughIt. Facebook, Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at SeeThroughIt1. I will engage you. I will follow you back. I'm not that type of guy. Facebook.com/STIPODCST. Give that page a like, a follow, join the conversation there. I post all kinds of stuff on there, so follow me there. And on Instagram at Brian Sells. Email me at SeeThroughItPodcast@gmail.com. And as you see, I'm on audio, so if you don't want to see my face and my my antics, I don't think I have any antics. I just my face. If you don't want to see all that, you can listen to me strictly through the radio, through the speakers, Anchor.fm, Breaker, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. You know what they say. If you're not on Apple, you haven't made it. So I'm on Apple. I guess I've kind of made it, but I guess we'll see. We'll see. Again, a special thank you to Mr. White for all his contributions to the show. And Ms. Kasi, thank you again for what you do for the show. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. If you haven't seen last night's episode, please go and watch it. We got to stop pushing division. We got to stop the hatred. Only love will conquer. We gotta be unified. Again, it's a battle of good and evil. The politics don't even matter. It's a battle of good and evil, rich and poor. I'm not rich. And we're fighting each other over crumbs. We gotta stop. We gotta unite. So that is the show. You guys have a wonderful night. Remember, do not be blinded by the media. Don't be blinded by the media. Hashtag see through it. This is the See Through It podcast. I am your host, Brian Sells. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace and good night.